Kotaku see games differently. Yeah, they see games differently, all right. They see them as a blight on the black man or any other race that they feel like is being plighted in our modern day society. Final Fantasy 16 dev has a terrible answer for why the game is so white. You know I had to say something about this. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am the Anti-Woke Warrior. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure that you're still subscribed. I do appreciate everyone stopping by and supporting my work. I do this as a labor of love, apparently, because I don't make any money off of it. At least I don't make very much money. If I have made any money, I haven't checked my merchandise store. Maybe somebody bought something. I don't know. But if you could watch the video to the very end, find me over on Rumble. I am Anti-Woke Warrior there, all one word, and I'm on Twitter. Let's get into this article. Before we do, I do want to say, I played the original Final Fantasy that came to the United States. I think that's actually Final Fantasy IV. And I was young when I played it, and I played it on the original Nintendo, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. I have played the Dragon Quest, used to be Dragon Warrior games back in the day. Now they're Dragon Quest games. I have played many of them. I have played other turn-based role-playing games in my life. I don't want to play turn-based role-playing games anymore. Final Fantasy 16, of course, is switched over to hack and slash. That is awesome, and I'm going to buy this game, and I'm not going to play it, probably. I'm only going to buy this game just to make Kotaku mad, honestly. Let's get into this article. 2 weeks ago, Square Enix released a new story trailer for its upcoming RPG Final Fantasy 16. There's just one noticeable problem. There doesn't seem to be a single non-white character in it. Oh no, heaven forfend! How dare we make a game that is all one race? I don't care if you make a game that is all Asian characters. I don't care if you make a game that is all black characters. Doesn't matter to me. Do it. But then I am also allowed to make a game that is all white characters. I don't have a problem with that. So IGN asked producer Naoki Yoshida about whether or not the game would feature any black people or other people of color. Unfortunately, his response made me go, yikes, in real life. Well, it doesn't take much to make you go, yikes, apparently. Yoshida explained that the fantasy world of Valisthea was based on medieval Europe, and they wanted to limit the world culturally and geographically. Valisthea was never going to realistically be as diverse as, say, a modern-day Earth, or even Final Fantasy XIV. He said as if he was being asked to incorporate every race on the entire planet. Ultimately, we felt that while incorporating ethnic diversity into Valisthea was important, and over-incorporation into this single corner of a much larger world could end up causing a violation of these narrative boundaries we originally set for ourselves. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. You know the original Final Fantasy that I mentioned earlier? There were only white characters in that. Oh no, it's just terrible. Games that had only white characters. I bet if you go to Africa, you can watch TV shows there. I'm going to bet, I've never been to Africa, so don't take my word for it. Maybe some of you have, and you can verify this for me, because I'm going to tell you the truth right now. The truth is, you can go to Africa, and guess what? You're going to see TV shows that have only black people in them. Only black people. No other race of people. You can go down to South America, Central America, Mexico, and see shows that have only Hispanic people in them. Wow, what a concept. Who cares? And you're going to say, well, those are more ethnically less diverse or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so why do you keep pushing for diversity in the United States? I mean, it doesn't have to be diverse, but you seem to insist that it be. You don't insist that for China. You don't insist that for any country in Africa. You don't insist on that for any country in Latin America. You insist on that in Europe and the United States. Which begs the question, why did they enforce a whites-only boundary in the first place? Because things happen. After acknowledging that the real world is more diverse than Valisthea, he continued, the story we are telling is fantasy, yes, but it is also rooted in reality. Which is it, Yoshida? You can't say that your fictional world isn't bound to reality and then use reality to explain why black people can't exist in Valisthea. Pick a struggle and stick with it, please. That doesn't make any sense. You can bound things by reality and then also say, hey, look, that there's no diversity in this area. Like I said, go to Africa. Go to some of those countries in Africa. Ghana is like 98.9% black. What are you going to do? I mean, this is just how it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's so ridiculous to think that having a lack of ethnic diversity is bad. No, that's just the way things are. Who cares? Move on with your life. Talk about something that's important. What's really frustrating about all of this is that black and brown people have always existed in medieval Europe. If the creative leadership had done more research or checked their biases, then they might have noticed that black people have been living in Britain for 2,000 years. And actually, I don't think they actually stayed there. They appeared there first in the year 300 BC, I believe, or no, 300 AD, I believe. as soldiers in Hadrian's army. Did they stay? I don't know that they did. I'm pretty sure they left. Or that some black Europeans were canonized in the Holy Roman Empire. Or realized that Iberia was under Islamic rule for approximately 500 years instead of a realistic imagining of medieval Europe. We have FF16 instead. Okay. You realize that Arabs are Caucasian, right? They're Caucasian people, so that's close to white. It's almost the same thing. I mean, white is a subset of Caucasian, so I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you'd be complaining about this if there was more Caucasian people, I'm sure. I emailed Square Enix to ask how it decided on whether or not a story element violated the developer's narrative boundaries, and I'll let you know once I've gotten a response. Okay, you're an idiot. Whatever. I just rewatched the latest trailer, the one embedded above, and saw a giant winged lady throw ice shards. Apparently that's not too over the top for fantasy realism, but bringing in real people from different races is a step too far. Localization director Michael Christopher Koji Fox told IGN that the game drew inspiration from Game of Thrones, but even GOT had black side characters, albeit represented very poorly. Final Fantasy 16 might be worse about representation than one of the most white bread shows on prestige television. So make black video games then. Make video games that are all black characters. I don't care. Do it. You're not going to hurt anything by doing that. I believe that the developers can overcome that challenge without blowing up the internet. If the AAA blockbuster God of War Ragnarok can feature a black Angerboda as a major character in its Norse mythology, then a totally made-up world can do the same, especially if the developers are looking to make Final Fantasy into a modern franchise that feels fresh to newcomers to the series. Feels damn fresh to me. Been looking at the trailers, I was like, wow, this is fresh. Feels totally fresh to me. I've never seen this before. Super fresh. And God of War made a mistake. That's just how it is. That's why I didn't buy God of War. I don't know what to tell you. It didn't seem like it was cohesive in its world. That's why I just kind of like this black god thing. It just takes me out of the story. Gotta buy something else. Not to mention, I don't own a PlayStation 5. I'm just gonna buy Final Fantasy just to piss off this guy. These idiots. I don't know. I had a guy leave a bunch of comments on my most recent Black Panther video about how I'm like a total racist and I'm totally evil because I'm not letting black people have their movie. I'm like, I don't care. Let them have it. What I'm saying is it was a bad movie, and I'm saying it was a racist movie against white people. But he's like, oh no, it's not because it's made for a black audience, so therefore it's not. I'm like, that doesn't make it not racist. Go see it if you want to, like it if you want to. I don't care. I'm not gonna stop you. Remake Black Panther, the original. Remake this second one with completely black actors. I don't care. Do that. It doesn't matter. But again, you're not going to do that because then you don't have a leg to stand on when you point out, hey, look, this show has only white people in it. It's evil. Then people can say, well, that show has only black people in it. It's evil. See, I know the game you're playing. I'm not stupid. These new quotes make me feel very cynical about Yoshida's comments from a previous interview. In August, he said that he wanted to revitalize the Final Fantasy series, which had become mired in its own long-standing tradition. In terms of whether Final Fantasy is successfully adapted to industry trends, I believe the series is currently struggling, he said in the interview with Inverse. You know what doesn't help with trying to make Final Fantasy not feel like it's over 30 years old? Give fans an all-whites cast that runs counter to both industry standards and actual history. Okay, you realize that you're saying that this has to be historically accurate, and yet at the same time you're saying it's a fantasy. You understand that you're contradicting yourself. You're talking out of both sides of your mouth, right, Kotaku? Wow, this is why you can't. The woke, just there's no talking to them. There's no quarter for them. For all that Yoshida is lauded for being the man who saved the Final Fantasy franchise, his creativity is also limited by the genre that has never been fair to black and brown fans around the world. Why would anybody care? Is Kotaku black? Is Kotaku brown? You tell me, if you're a black or a brown person out there, have you played Final Fantasy and did you enjoy it? Did you think it was racist and evil? I don't know what to tell you. I mean, there's games that I play that I enjoy that I don't see myself represented in the game. You don't have to have yourself represented in the game. Final Fantasy 16 may be the most mature game in the series, but its outlook on human history is a step backward for modern JRPGs. Okay. Yeah. And then we got a comment here? What is this? We got a comment? It's because only racists care about the skin color of the cast, and he knows that, as do 99% of the customer base. I've never cared about the race or diversity of the characters I play as, and nor should anyone else. It should be the writing, gameplay, and quality of the product that endears you to the characters, not a racist Twitch reaction from the part of the brain that still thinks it's first century. Thank you, Louis. That was well put. There's no more to that article. But yeah, let me take a look at Final Fantasy 16 here. Fantasy 16. We'll do Wiki. W-I-K-I. See if I can play this game or not. All right, so Final Fantasy 16, does it say which platforms? It's only on PlayStation 5. You know, I'm probably still going to buy it just to make this guy mad. Just so I can boost their sales. This is just like, why do you care? Really? You think it's such a... Don't you have better things to spend your energy on than saying that this game is evil because it doesn't have any people who aren't white in it? I mean, really. And I wouldn't care if you said that, but imagine if I said that about black people. Imagine if I said that about Asian people, Hispanic people, Native American people, Indian people, Arabic people. You know? The internet would melt down, and I would be their target. So, anyway, thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and share. I'll see you the next time.